Hi, and welcome to this Selenium recipe video about weights. I know I promised to do this video a long time ago, and here you have it. I'm doing it now. So for this video, like I said, we're going to do weights, and we're going to see about implicit, and explicit weights. So what is an implicit weight? An implicit weight is a general time that you set up for your test and basically tell the WebDriver, wait this much time until you throw a specific error, an error like no such element exception. An explicit wait, well, that's way more fun, and we're going to see it in action in a few minutes. So firstly, let's talk about implicit waits and implicit waits for this new site. Before now, we're constantly been using the for me site, but since our Selenium recipes are slowly but surely going to end, I'm going to use this site here because, yeah, spoiler alert, I may do a series on how to make an actual full-scale framework, and I need a site which has, well, little, which resembles a site, an actual site, and just this for me site. So, like I said, we're going to use this site here, and for the implicit weight test, we're going to navigate to the site. And we're going to identify one element. Okay, so firstly we do driver.get and the site, and let's identify this search icon there. It seems to have an ID. So let's do web element search bar driver, find element by ID, and we're going to enter the ID right here. So you seem to notice, I think, we haven't added any implicit weight here. Well, because for our case, I have it in the base test. So let's go to there. And this is actually the implicit weight. And let's just copy this and analyze it a little bit. So the implicit weight takes two arguments. The first argument is the time. And you may say, okay, that's a lot of, it's 10,000. Yeah, but it's milliseconds. We do have the possibility to set a lot more options. So we can actually say 10,000 days. I'm not going to put that. Or we can say hours, microseconds, minutes, nanoseconds, or actually seconds. So what we have there, so let's say we want to put it at 1 second. So now we're basically telling WebDriver, you wait 1 second until you throw an error that you couldn't identify a specific element. Okay, so let's see how this works. We run our test, and if all works well, we shouldn't have any issues here. Okay, but let's change the ID and run it again. Okay, and you see we have now an error. But let's add this a little bit. Put 10 seconds. And if we run it now, Selenium WebDriver should wait a little bit more, so 10 seconds, until we have this error. So it still hasn't failed yet. And it should happen any minute now. Yeah. So as you can see, it worked. So it waited way more than the first one. So instead of 1 second, it did 10 seconds. While it's always helpful to have something like this, this does imply in some cases that your test will be, well, slower. Because if you put here, I don't know, like 30 seconds, so that would mean you have 50 elements. And in case you have an issue with some of the elements, it may take you, well, 30 times 50, that's 15,000. So it takes you a couple of minutes, actually, time which is actually lost. You could, of course, try to set this up. Don't worry if you don't enter anything. By default, it's 0. So it's 0 seconds. So let's go back to maybe make it 5 seconds. And we put this one back. Now for our explicit weights, but before we come to the explicit weights, we're going back to the application and let's write something here. I don't know, write test, make a search, have here printed. Okay, so let's go back here, have printed and search. Okay, perfect. And then I don't know. Okay, so we'll have that we identify the search bar and have the search button. And this search button is identified by it actually has a name there. Okay, so let's identify it by name. Find element by name and perform a search. So in the search bar we send keys, what was it? Printed. Okay, printed. And then for the search button we make click, and then I want to see this here. So what I'm hoping for is that this grid's going to take some time to load. So let's see, product container. So I have a couple. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Actually, the compare button, class compare form. Okay, so let's see about this compare form. And we have the compare button. Find element by CSS selector. And I don't know, maybe we want to click it. And let's see if this works. Okay, it actually worked. It wasn't slow enough. Then maybe they should actually have taken the this one here. Let's try that again. Product container. And container. Okay, so it seems I either selected now an element which cannot be clicked, or I was too fast on that. And let's see if we can fix this with an explicit weight. And let's come to the explicit weight parts. What's an explicit weight? An explicit weight basically allows you to set a weight per element. So like I said, you can select, or you can set like an implicit weight for your whole test, about a second or a couple of milliseconds, whichever suits your requirements. And you can set for different elements special kind of weights. And depending on which kind of element it is, Selenium can help you there. The syntax to create this kind of weight is a little bit different than the implicit weight. So here we did manage timeouts implicit weight. And for the explicit weight, we actually have to create a WebDriver weight. So we do WebDriver weight equals WebDriver weight and not web element, WebDriver and driver and a couple of seconds here. So once we have the WebDriver weight defined, so do a wait and we say wait until, and here we have an expected. Here we need to say what is the expected condition. We wait until what happens. So we have expected condition, and the expected condition conditions would well, we need to select one which suits our needs. So let's say we wanted to see, we need to wait until an element can be clickable. And here we need to tell it the web element. So we have here the container. And then we can put the click. And just to be 100% certain that the element that we're using is, let's say that the locator that we're using is actually clickable. So the first one isn't. Let's see, the second one seems to be, but let's run the test and see what is actually the result. It's going to enter now the text. And yeah, I think I need to make a short change there. Yeah, because that part didn't work. Okay, so we're actually going to make it like web elements. And this is our favorite part actually, yeah? When you guys see that I use this, and in the container, let's say that the element number, I don't know, 2. Container I'll get 2 and click. Let's run it now. Okay, so this is getting better and better. And why do I say that? Well, because yeah, it seems I have something here which is mega perfect for the weights, but I did a mistake. So when I'm doing the click and I'm putting the locator of the element too soon. Okay, so let me take that from there and put it here. Actually, I can show it to you. Oh, okay, let's try it like this, and then I can show it to you what I mean. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let's go back a little bit. So I'm putting this back here, and I'm stopping that, and I'll put a breakpoint here. So see, this is exactly the situation where an explicit weight saves the day. Okay, it's loading now. And as you can see here, it says container size equals 1. So what does that actually mean? It means before everything that we had here. So after the click, the operation of finding the element was done, but it was done too soon because here it only has one element, where we knew and we know if we go here and we copy this selector here, we have 6 elements. So this is exactly, like I said, this is exactly how you should use, or the situations where an explicit weight proves its value. And that is, so we perform the click, and afterwards we set the condition. Okay, I have a click, don't rush into it, don't find the element yet. Wait a bit. Wait until my element is clickable, in this case, and afterwards start doing stuff to it. Of course, as you've seen here, so as you've seen in the expected condition, I'll just create another one. Just gonna copy this one shortly, and in the conditions, there are a lot of conditions. So there are even conditions for alerts. You know, alerts, we did that in a previous video. Searching for or condition for a title, and so for even attributes. So there are really a lot. You can even prove that an element is invisible, which is perfect for negative tests. So I would leave you to have a look at all this list, but just know the following. In case you have a test and while you're debugging your test, or while you are running your test, you see that something unexpectedly happens, I would say that somewhere, somehow, you're missing a weight. That's the first thing. As long as the test doesn't say, I don't know, cannot find element with ID, whatever, and you're certain that the ID haven't changed, then the first thing you might want to have a look at are, is the application slower for some reason? Did it change something in the logic which is making my test fail due to non-existing explicit weights. Just as a pointer, yeah. And one last thing, I know I used it in the tests in the beginning and I said it then. Please, please, for the love of God, don't do this. So thread.sleep, please, please, no. You can use it when you learn stuff, but once you're more comfortable with weights, just stop. Thank you for watching this video. I hope to see you in the next one. If you liked it, subscribe, hit the bell. If you want to have any ideas on what you want to see next, just write and I'll try to respond to your comment as soon as possible. Thank you again, and as I said, as always, see you in the next one. Bye bye.